On our previous episode, we pushed onward to our northernmost campground, Big Creek Campground in the Flathead National Forest just west of Glacier National Park. We cast our line into the water to get in some practice and slept peacefully next to the river, where we now wake to a full day of exploration and adventure. So I think the first order of business today is I do want to do some driving around the National Forest on forest roads, and I have some offline maps that I downloaded with my GPS program, OnX Offroad, but I just realized I made a slight blunder in that I didn't get a large enough area, so where I'm at now and where I need to go is the mystery, so I need more offline map. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is go find a cell phone signal somewhere so I can download something a little bit more complete so we can venture deeper in to the forest. But we're just gonna drive around some forest roads that I found. They should be pretty easy. Enjoy the scenic wonders of the area, look for wildlife, probably cast my line into the rivers here, into the waters whenever I find them. And we'll come back down here to the campground later, and there's some other fishing spots that I wanna check out. So pretty action-packed day, but very casual and loosely planned. So we're just gonna partially wing it. But this is my campsite, basically. I'm right on the river. And you couldn't ask for a better campsite than this, in my opinion. This is fantastic. Okay, we're leaving the campground now. Heading off to places unknown. Well, heading off to a cell phone signal first so I can get oriented. And then we will explore. I've got the whole day. I don't have a travel day today like I oftentimes do. So I'm hoping this is kind of like one of those backroads ride-alongs, whatever. I haven't really come up with a term. My goodness. That site probably has like 30 people in it, and it's just an individual site. But I can say that last night everybody was quiet as a mouse, and everybody went to bed early like me, and everybody's now just getting up. So I've been up for a while, but I decided there's really no rush. It's still very kind of dark in a way deep in the forest. It's 8:30 actually, pretty late for a Cactus Atlas start these days, but I figure with the sun setting well after 9 p.m. I should consult the itinerary and see what time the sunset is, but it's late enough. That's all I can tell you. I'm in Columbia Falls, Montana, not terribly far from my campsite, and I am about to head to the beginning of my off-road route. I was able to get my offline map for the region. And while I was in Columbia Falls, which is really the only place to get a strong enough cell phone signal if you're camping up this way that I found so far, to do something like download an offline map on a program like OnX. I got 2 bars of LTE between here and halfway to the campground, but it wasn't enough to do anything really. So that being said, I've corrected my blunder. Should have done all this before I left, but I didn't think ahead, and I downloaded the map to a device that doesn't have GPS. So it was pretty much useless for me because I couldn't see where my position was. So had to get it on my phone. Anyway, so we're good. We are gonna start our thing, and I decided to start off by getting some coffee at this place. I don't know if it's any good or not. It's like a drive-through. It's called Cowgirl Coffee, and it's right down the way here. A little pull up to it. Don't get out of your vehicle. Seemed easy, so I got, they have a lot of smoothies and things like that there. I just like black coffee, but I didn't even see black coffee on the menu. They had mochas and things. They probably would be able to make it, but smelling it. Smells good. Let's see how it tastes. Oh yeah, that's good. It's so if you've had mocha, you know what it is, like cafe mocha, coffee and mocha. I don't know if it's because my taste is diminished from my cancer treatment or if it's just done this way, but the sweetness is perfect. It's not, I don't like really, really sweet coffee drinks. So this is very well balanced actually. The coffee's pretty strong, I think. So I'll hopefully get that caffeine jolt I'm after without like the sugar like shakes. So, but then again, it just could be, but maybe I just don't taste the sweet and I'm getting more than I bargained for. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna actually make a beeline for the start of my route, the point I started. And then from there, I've got options of where to go and ideas of what to do. So interestingly, part of the route on OnX that I chose to do includes the campground to Columbia Falls. So I've already kind of done it and I filmed it going the other way yesterday. So that means I have another idea that's even better, which may take us straight up to the Canadian border. Ooh, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let me get to our point of interest and then we'll start officially get this thing underway. All right, so I am now at the official start of my route. What it is an OnX Offroad. I'm just doing somebody else's route that they created called Red Meadow. And it basically goes through some state forest land, the Flathead National Forest. I think it's supposed to go around the northern part of Whitefish Lake. And I think there's some other lakes back here. And then I have a point plotted where I'd either make a left or a right. Left is to the Canadian border. Right is back to where I was gonna go, which takes you back to Columbia Falls. I'm gonna not do the turning back right, and then I think we're gonna try to make a shot up for the Canadian border just to say I did it. So in 1 year, if you rewind a couple months ago, we'll start driving. I was in Oregon Pipe Cactus National Monument in my home state of Arizona, camping within eye shot of the border wall. So basically did one thing down there and then I'm hoping today to do something up and see the Canadian border. And then I can say I've been to both borders in 1 year. I don't know, that seems like a fun thing to do. And I think there's a sign here about bears. I'm gonna get out and let's do this. Let's get out and read about this. I think we're supposed to be in one of the most heavily populated areas for grizzly bears in the country, if not the most populated. And there's some helpful information up here. I do have bear spray with me. I think it's right behind my seat, so I should probably just have it around and know where it is at the very least, but I don't think I'm gonna be close to my truck the whole time. So that'd probably be my first plan if I run into problems, if I can, is get my butt into the truck and just get out of Dodge. But I don't think a bear is gonna, most likely you're not gonna have an issue. I don't think bears are something to be fearful of. Just don't want to surprise them. But let's go take a look here and we'll see. I hope we see some. I do like coming out to places though, like these forest roads, because just the fact that it's not paved and you need some routing skills filters out a lot of tourists, I think, and just not that I mind other people back in these places at all. I'm not like one of those that's gonna throw a fit, but anyway, let's take a look at the terrain. Like here's I think we're in the state forest land right now, but basically this is bear country and here's what we're dealing with. Oh, this is cool. I'm gonna take a shot of this for reference later. Basically, this is grizzly bear habitat, and grizzly and black bears inhabit the area. So basically, this is a good visual. You know, there are differences if you need to be able to tell the difference. I've seen some black bear. Sometimes they're not black. Sometimes they actually look brown. But one thing that I have been told, I think I saw a grizzly once in Yellowstone. I was so far away I wasn't sure. But I know that the grizzlies have like this, their shoulders I think are much more pronounced, for example, than a black bear's. And you could see the tracks are what I'm kind of interested in. If I ever see that around the campground now. I know what to kind of look out for, and I can consult this later. But basically, I'm trying to, I guess I kind of see the difference in the pads of their feet. I guess the black bear kind of has this thing there. The grizzly's more straight, I'm guessing. See, I'm just trying to learn, and it looks like you don't really see as much claw as you might with a black bear, but I'm guessing there's a lot of different variability in the whatever they're walking in that might determine that. But anyway, I'm no tracker. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. Just something interesting to note. Here, Berry, Berry, Berry. I'm sure if there's any around here with my loud mouth, I've already scared them off. Most bear, I think, are very fearful of people, and they want nothing to do with you. And if you see one, when I've seen them, they usually see me coming if I'm in my truck or something, and they just run away like really fast. So here's my bear spray, just to show you what I have. I always double check before I go. I mean, these things last a couple years. This expires next May. So, you know, in theory, it's still good. I've had it for like a year, but I keep it in good storage conditions. It's, I don't know if you could see that on this very well. The brand is Frontiersman Bear Attack Deterrent. So you really want to know how to use it, right, before you need to. But basically on mine, there's like, you have a holster. You can like put it on your belt. If you're hiking, that's a really good idea. You really need to be able to get it fast. And you basically pop this thing back, and then you can deploy. I need to remember because it's been, oh yeah, once you pop off this safety thing, there's actually a switch that you basically push down on, and psh. So that's how it works. So I guess hopefully the wind's not blowing back in your face. But so far, yeah, this was a nice, pretty drive through the woods. Just gonna go slow and enjoy the day. Like, I actually have all day. I have technically now, I guess because of sunset, if you include civil twilight, I've got like 12 hours to spend doing whatever the heck I want. And yes, I'm going to be filming the whole time, but you've seen my strict itineraries if you've been following my trip, and I do have one today, but it's a looser one. It basically says, hey, you've got half a day to do the route. And I guess technically I thought about it, well, I could have more than a half a day if I want to go up to the Canadian border, whatever. So I love days like today, and I've got a few more like this. Just to give you a preview, I'm going to be in Yellowstone and specifically the Grand Teton area, and there's a couple dirt road routes outside of the national park boundary that I can explore, and I love doing that because typically in your national forest you can fly your drone legally, as I can today. And you know, it's not really worth doing it in heavy tree cover. I don't like to do it, but if we find a nice lake, we find a river scene, we'll get airborne for a little bit. But for the most part, we're just going to explore together. Like, I don't know, like I've got my offline map, it's working, I know where I'm at, life is good, and you're with me. So, and I'm very pleased and honored to have anybody along with me. And actually, that's the coolest thing. Like, as I'm driving and I do this and I'm talking, I've been doing this so long that in my mind mentally, I know right here and now I look like a fool. I'm essentially talking to myself, talking to an electronic, but I mentally know I'm not. I'm actually talking to you from the past, from when you see it. But I do get myself in that mentality that you guys are actually here with me in the now, even though you're not. But it brings me comfort. It's like I know I have friends who I've not met any of you, but I have friends along for the ride. So sharing the experiences with somebody else, whether it's through digital media or having somebody along for the ride, is joyful too. I like it all, but yeah, I'll always need to just go be a loner sometimes. Like it's just wired. I'm wired that way. And I never had anything like really super horrible happen to me in my life to make me be like that. It's just, I've always had that to some extent. And I never feel fearful. I'm not, people are like, oh, aren't you afraid, to travel alone? And no, I'm more, you want to know what I'm afraid of is going into the city. So now that you know how I really feel, it's kind of nice to catch up and remind people, I guess, of who I am. Like we pick up a lot of new folks very often. You know, people come to the channel on YouTube, they watch a few episodes, you're all of a sudden you're their new favorite channel for a week. And then they move on after they consume, and that's fine. And then some of you stick around for the long term. I don't know what's wrong with you people. I wonder about some of yous, but I'm very thankful for all of yous that do that. Yous. All right, bears, I want to see a bear. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to stop filming, I'm going to turn the GoPro off to conserve battery, and then you see something, and by the time you fire it up and it boots on, it's too late. This is a fantastic little drive, though. I like just driving in the woods like this, too. Especially when you're in bear country. Now, I ain't no celebrity, nor do I ever want to be one, nor do I ever. Some of you think, oh, look, you're popular. No, I'm not. Don't look at the subscriber count and make judgments like that, because I know we got like, I don't even know, 40 something thousand, but there's probably only a couple thousand people that actually tune in. But what I'm getting at is, like, one channel I have enjoyed watching is it's Kevin Nealon. He hikes like in the Hollywood Hills and interviews other celebrities. So you have someone with celebrity is able to have a following enough to do something like that. I don't, but I have an idea. I wanted to do something where I could interview real celebrities while driving on dirt roads, and probably something more exciting like this to just kind of make the context a little bit like edgy, pucker worthy. But then I was thinking, oh, it would be awesome to make it even more interesting. Maybe the person I would be interviewing would have to be in character. Like they'd have to talk in their, whatever their most iconic character is from their career. And I was thinking the first one that I would want on my show, so I'd have like another camera set up in here, would be Billy Bob Thornton in his Sling Blade role. So I'd have him sitting here talking like Sling Blade the whole time while I'm off-roading, but he can't break character though. Even if we do something freaky and do some serious off-roading, he'd have to do it in the character of Sling Blade, for example. And I think that would be I'd be a millionaire. So Billy Bob, if you're out there, like I love you as an actor. I think you're fantastic. But I would hit me up at thecactusatlas@gmail.com, and let's make this happen. Help a brother out here. You can you could change my life. And then from there, we'll have to figure out who else would be on the show. Other ideas I had for the show, I thought it would be like fun to have like Snoop Dogg as a guest on that show, like take him out to the Agua Fria National Monument or somewhere where there's some like freaky roads back there. You know, just take people out of their usual element, basically, put them into something that they're not used to. Although I reckon Billy Bob probably has done more off-roading than I have in my time. But anyway, now you got the idea. So if you want to help me like crowdfund that, like let me know. We'll start something here, everybody. This could be a new thing. It's the kind of crap, like if you were here with me and we were driving for many hours, that's the kind of crap we would be talking about. And now you know how weird I actually am and not normal. So now some of you have already written me off. But that's okay, I like to filter it down. So that way I can like filter it to the freaks that understand me. While we're driving down in this section, a couple other ideas for my interview show would have been one that I would have loved, but I know the poor guy was in no condition to do it in the last few years, and now he's unfortunately passed, was Val Kilmer. I would have requested that he do Doc Holliday from his portrayal of Doc Holliday from Tombstone. That would have been a good one. Another one that would be fun would be Jeff Bridges. I thought would be fun. I think I'd have him do his Rooster Cogburn portrayal from that film. I can't do nothing for you, son. I don't know if you guys have seen that one, that remake of the John Wayne movie. Now I'm drawing a blank. I don't know why, but so comment down below. Like, that's really what I was getting at, is tell me, let's just have fun with it. Tell me who you think would be a perfect guest on that show, and what character of theirs, what iconic character do you think they should portray as we off-road on some pucker-worthy roads. Alrighty, you can see we're heading straight towards the mountains. That Flathead River's gotta be somewhere around here. I'm kind of zoomed in on my map, so I'm not zoomed out far enough to see any river. We just crossed a creek. But anyway, you could kind of get a good sense here. We finally got a view. I don't even know if the GoPro, what it's looking like up there, but that is pretty fantastic though. Now we're going back under the tree cover. That was like one of our first openings, but I've seen some footage, I think, as we get further in. I just need a nice meadow or like an open area so we can kind of get out, maybe get airborne. But not that I'm not enjoying this, like just this drive through the pine forest like this, it's a treat for me. I don't, where I come from, ain't no pine trees. Well, there are, but I gotta drive a couple hours to see them. Maybe an hour and a half. Where I'm at, we got brown and more brown. I don't know about you, I'm ready for a leg stretching anyway, but got a little view here of the lake, Upper Whitefish Lake. Hidden at a daisy, as my boy Val Kilmer would have said in his role. But I do have a good, launching point if I want to get the drone up. I can oh, you hear that? That's like one of those iconic, I don't know if you picked up some kind of bird, but it's like a sound effect they use in a lot of movies when you're outdoors. I don't know what kind of animal that is though. I wish I knew. This is amazing back here. This actually, I don't want to upset people like, you hear that? I don't want to upset people like, you're giving away all the... You hear that? Hopefully you can hear it and someone can tell me what that is. It's a very iconic sound. Maybe it's the bird of prey that's going to take the drone down. But anyway, we are going to try to launch here very safely. If I'm doing this right, I really want to keep that in my field of view. I don't want to swing around the trees too much. So I think if I can get it out over the water, kind of turn it around, and I can probably pan and get some views. It's captain safety over here. I don't know. So I've done enough droning to know, like, it's no fun when you get a disconnected signal and your drone is out there somewhere. Ideally you want to have a home point where you can get to a high elevation and have it it keeps doing that. And then something was like answering it. I know people that watch this channel, there's people that'll know exactly what that is as long as my microphone picked it up. But it is like a sound you hear in a lot of like wilderness movies. It's like a common thing. I'm like, oh, I'm in the actual habitat of whatever it is. I love being deep out here, man. There's a pristine quiet. It's one of those real quiet things, other than the tinnitus I got in my ears now after the chemo. Got a little bit of that. But other than that, and some trickling water, it's dead silence out here for sure. This is just peaceful out here, like a different kind of peace. It's hard to describe unless you're here. Getting out there with the drone on that lake was magical. Like what I saw from I'll have to look at the footage later, but from what I could see on my screen, holy moly, that's a pretty lake. That's like iconic. I just wish there was more lake access, but I kind of don't. Like, 'cause it probably keeps this lake, you know, it probably minimizes the number of people that can come here and recreate. So I get it, you know, I'm not trying to give away secrets. But my counter argument to that is this stuff isn't that secret. Anybody with half a brain can go on the internet and figure it out. But there's some beautiful blooming things out here. I don't know what they are. Is that some kind of lupin? Some kind of mountain flowers? I think it's pronounced lupin, right? Not lupine. I've always pronounced it lupine. I've had people correct me and say it's lupine. But look, there's actual berries too. Those look like raspberries actually, but I don't think they are. Maybe they're not berries. Maybe they're some kind of thistle flower or something. Huh. I like to study the local flora and surmise like that. It would be much better if I could tell you exactly what it is though. It's probably poison ivy or something. Actually, it might be. Not poison ivy, but maybe something that's going to cause itchiness. I don't think we're going to find any grizzly bears right here on the roadside. So let's continue on this journey. And I'm so thrilled that we got to stop and see the lake. This was actually the perfect launching point for a drone. You know, perfect entry and exit to get out over the lake. And I didn't want to go, you know, that way or this way too far for fear of losing a signal, because I don't know, like if I had to go recover something, I mean, do you want to walk straight through that? There are all these bees around here, or bee-like things. Maybe they're a type of fly, but they certainly sound like bees and fly like bees and act like bees, and they want in the truck. But they also don't seem to sting. Like when I fly my drone or I'm filming, they like to land on my equipment and just hang out. I had one land on my hand. I'm like, whatever. I was in the middle of flying, so I just let it do its thing. And so that's why I'm wondering, are they bees or what are they? But I've seen them at the campsite now and out here. They're friendly bees. They don't want to hurt no one. They just want to be your friend. So far though, I would say this is maybe the best day I've had in a year, like since I had my whole cancer thing go on. I think today's the day where I'm the happiest I've been. I feel the best that I've been. This trip so far, it was the right choice. Like I had been inside for so many months, wasting away in here, in my body physically. And it was all coming to a head, and I knew that a trip like this would help really heal me, really get me to where I need to be. What's this here? Is this a road to the lake or something? Or? No, it's just another little campsite, I think. Anyway, so it just, I feel I've been a lot more physically active in the last few days, and I really attribute a lot of it to that. I attribute it to being out and getting some sun, some vitamin D, all of that stuff. When you go through what I did, you have to be kind of in a mode where you retreat inward for a while to focus on treatment and focus on pain management and all that kind of stuff. But then you can get stuck in a mode. So really my advice to anybody going through that, who is fortunate enough like me where it was rough, but not like not likely a life-ending thing, and I feel good, do something like this. Like if you really need that punch forward, that push forward, I really have been feeling mentally a lot better leading up to this trip, but this is really solidifying it for me. So I would say, yeah, as soon as we got to that lake, nothing scary at all, but definitely a lot more sharp rock protruding from the road, a lot bumpier. I drive slowly, so and it's these situations where I never bother to really air my tires down because 1 out of 10. I would go and say some of these sections in my book would probably be going to about a 2 out of 10. Not for like technical complexity, it's easy to drive on, but I'm thinking it starts to become a little bit more hazardous for some with slightly elevated risk for tire problems would be my rationale for bumping it up to like a 2 out of 10. And I'm trying to account for, you're gonna have the macho dude saying, well, look at you sissy boy. I'm trying to think of like a wider range of people and experiences and technology types. So it's not a commentary on like difficulty. I would say in terms of technical difficulty, it's a 1 out of 10, like this for me. But as far as road hazard and road conditions for a variety and a range of vehicles, we're gonna bump it up 1 for the Cactus Atlas rating of a 2 out of 10 so far. If someone wanted to go a 3, if you think that's appropriate, I wouldn't fight with you. And I wouldn't put you down either. We got a little bit of standing water and mud over here. Our first little interesting spot. These are always kind of fun because you can't really see too deep in the water, so we're gonna just slowly go through it. Nothing to worry about for most. That would probably come back here, but I'm starting to get inclined to say that, I'm pretty confidently gonna deter or try to deter the regular passenger type vehicle that doesn't have like 4-wheel capability or something. You could probably still have no problem in your little Subaru type like adventure vehicle, but I wouldn't bring your Tesla back here or your, your Prius. You can see a type of vehicle that got back here. That's there's a Subaru. There you go. Still no bear sightings though. I wonder what the percentage chance would be of seeing one this time of the day. I mean, I've done it. It's happened before when I've been driving. Sequoia National Park was one example. I caught a mama black bear and a cub crossing the road. There's nobody around, and I got it. Didn't know my camera was set in slow-mo mode, which actually kind of worked to my benefit in that case. And you see the little baby, probably showing footage of it here for you to reminisce over that. That was a very special moment. But you can kind of see too, that's a good example of bit like typical bear behavior. They wanted nothing to do with me. Like, they saw me and they hauled it. They got out of there quickly and didn't mess around. And I didn't go messing around with them. I'm not gonna mess with a mama bear with a cub. That's asking to get killed. There's this, I think, Whitefish Mountain to my left, which you can't see. You know what we're gonna do here? This is a good spot to do a leg stretch, even though I just changed the batteries. It's safe to pull over here. This is a nice view, and actually for more than one reason. So let's check this out. You can hear the sound of a rushing stream down below, and there's like mosquitoes or something flying all over here. This isn't a fun spot. I think that's Whitefish Mountain. If any locals or anybody knows better, feel free to comment down below and correct me if I'm wrong. But this is a scene right here. This is absolutely gorgeous. This is what I've came out here for. Out in the backcountry of Montana, deep in National Forest land, nobody around, in grizzly bear country. How it's summer, it's lush, it's green. It's in the 70s up here. Trying to see if I can see the stream that I hear in there, but I don't. And maybe a spot. I'm like, hey, any bears hanging out? Any huckleberries down there to munch on for anyone? I'm your huckleberry. This is the life. This is the absolute life. That was a pretty short-lived flight, admittedly. I wanted to spend more time airborne, but I got just swarmed by mosquitoes like nobody's business right here, unlike anywhere I've been in a long time. And those suckers wait. They waited till I got airborne, and then they started biting me when I'm sitting there trying to fly and do stuff. I'm like, my goodness. I got a couple bites, man, but homie don't play that. So anyway, we're heading now. We're, I think, gonna start shifting more eastward. I kind of think of this route as a really long loop, if you want to think of it that way. Look at this scene. That is Link Mountain, I believe, right ahead. Looking at my map. So the one that I filmed that was like really pointy should have been Whitefish Mountain. That's Link Mountain. Link Mountain is 7,221 feet in elevation, I guess. The top up there is 7,200 feet. And then I think that Whitefish kind of lost, it's kind of cut off on my screen now. It's probably about 7,300 feet that we saw. And the way the map is zoomed in, I can't tell you which line that we're on in terms of elevation at this point, but probably something like 6,000-ish, maybe upper 5,000s, I don't know. All right, there should be a sharp turn here soon. Yep. I think we're gonna be doing another sharp turn, a few sharp turns here. And then pretty soon this Red Meadow Lake. Looks like a really small lake, even smaller than Upper Whitefish, according to my map. There should be a really sharp turn that's almost like a 180 coming up if we're, I bet, at the end of this. if I'm correct. It's a pipe running through here. I don't know what they're piping in here. Water, I guess? I don't know. So if some of these episodes seem extra long and, you know, blah, 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 and we're just hanging out, some of you have expressed that's exactly what you like and what you want, probably more often than not. Just kind of a hangout. Yep, there's that sharp turn. Wow. Wow. So my thing here I decided recently is I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about trying to keep it succinct. I'm just going to let these flow, the blah, blah, blah and everything for those people that say that they like it. And I'm also, to be honest with you, I'm protesting. Maybe call it protest art. I'm protesting short format, which I'm actually on the cusp of saying I'm done. Like with Instagram, even though we've built a big following there, I don't even know what to do with it. And for whatever reason, like short format brings out the garbage when it comes to people acting like imbeciles and like the trolls and all that kind of stuff. Like usually for us it's short-lived because people aren't subscribed or they don't follow you, but I've had it. And I also think it's damaging to society what short format media is doing, how it's being used. I think it's a sickness, to be honest with you. So I'm doing the exact opposite. I decided I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want, and I'm gonna make long ass videos. If this ends up being 2 hours, fine. Like, what's this? There's a big oh, you guys know I love me a good meadow, and I found one. Sorry, I keep interrupting my thoughts, but this here, this is it. Let's see if there's no mosquitoes here. I already see bees. I see lots of bees, but I'm not afraid of no bee. Oh wow, there's a nice cool breeze blowing. This is actually a dispersed camping spot. I'm gonna make note of the coordinates for myself. I'm not telling you guys. This is one I'm gonna keep for myself. I'm gonna show, but I'm not gonna tell too much, although you could figure it out, I'm sure. I gave you enough information if you're savvy enough. There's a body of water over there. I don't know if that's a pond or a creek, but the breeze up here is much cooler. In fact, it's so cool right now, all of a sudden, I don't know if it's because the sun went away, that I need a hoodie. Honestly, I'd be wearing a hoodie and sweatpants if I was camping here right now in this little area. But look at these yellow flowers here. I connect with this right here. I don't know why I love alpine meadows so much. It's like ever since I went up to the Sierra Nevada last year, that became my new thing. I could set a chair up right here next to a nice cozy fire, nice cup of coffee, read a book, whatever you like to do, play some guitar. And this is probably a great place to watch out for wildlife. I would say, yeah, this is a connection for me. It took about 5 minutes, but those mosquitoes found me. It's like they'll find you out here. So bring some deep woods off if you're gonna be spending time out here. Alrighty, so let's go before I get eaten up again. Dang those things. And I just saw actually someone in a Mini Cooper, a really small one, just drove by. So there's your, I guess, I don't know how they're gonna fare down the road. They'll probably be fine, but that's the kind of thing you might see back here. All right, let's go. Gonna be itchy tonight, I know that. There's a bunch of little vehicles driving back here. I don't know if they were other cars or if someone turned around or they were side-by-sides, but I gotta be careful backing out of here because whoever it was hauling butt. Probably side-by-sides, if I had to guess. So hopefully I'm clear on that side. Say goodbye to that meadow though, that was awesome. I was thinking about flying for a second, like I said, but then I was like, man, I can't deal with these mosquitoes and focusing on flying at the same time, so we're gonna continue. I mean, we still got a lot to explore, so this might be my first 2-hour video at this point, but so be it. Or maybe it'll be a 2-parter if we have to split it up. I'm fine doing that if it makes sense. And this lake, it's probably where those people are coming from all of a sudden. There should be a lake like right on the right, like any time now. We'll take a look and see. There's restrooms too. Oh yeah, there it is. I see the water. You should get a view of it. There's a campground here apparently. And the road just passes right through it. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of people just stopping for the view. I think we're gonna have to do the same maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna keep going. There's a little group there. They don't look very friendly. I waved and the guy's just like, there's one of those little chipmunk creature things. I'm gonna go slow. I don't wanna run over the thing. We're getting a decent view of this little lake anyway. So what I was thinking of, I could probably fly my drone around, but there's really only that one spot. There's a bunch of those critters all over here. But there were 2 groups there. And like I said, one of the people didn't look very friendly. I don't know why. They couldn't see my license plate, so they couldn't know where I'm from. So to get mad, because some people will just get mad based on that alone in this day and age. Chances are it had nothing to do with me. And he may not have just been mad. That just may be what his face looks like. Or maybe he was in deep, intense thought. Alright, so I think we're gonna now probably have a lot more of the same. Some windy roads and more of these critters. There's some kind of squirrel or something, I think. So what I'm probably gonna do is because I got a lot more that I'd like to go see. I think I'm gonna just enjoy some of this drive for myself. Although it's hard not to want to film when you got views like that. We should be at my decision point. There's actually a sign right where you would think there would be. So I think we came to play, didn't we? What I'm gonna do, actually, I have an idea. I already have a sense for how long this video already is. This might be a multi-parter if I decide to go left. Split it up. So Red Meadow Campground, if you remember that little pond or lake where I wanted to stop and I said there's a grumpy looking fella, that's 12 miles down this way. Still part of this Red Meadow route on OnX Offroad is really what I'm referring it to. I know for a lot of you that will mean nothing. but you know some landmarks to plot a route if you want to. And then we'll look at this sign here. So this is like the main road that will go back to my campground, Big Creek Campground. And down this ways is a whole other country called Canada. And there's your proof, 16 miles to the border. 32 miles round trip to get back to this point, because I think it's gonna be a back and forth, and then however long it takes to go all the way to my campground. So, with that being said, my buddy Slim and I here, we gotta say thank you to Slim. He takes us to all these really cool places and seems to get me there safely every time. Thank you, Slim. And thank you for joining me on this. Hope you really enjoyed that mountain drive. It was spectacular, it was beautiful, but we are gonna make it a two-parter, so you're gonna have to tune back in next week, I assume, is when we'll release it, to see me go all the way to the Canadian border or as close to it as I can get. So come back for that then. There should be some beautiful views, hopefully some big mountain views. I have no idea what's up the road, but we'll find out. See you next time.